Okay, so we got the IMU MPU6050 board here. It's all programmed, powered up. You can see we're using the 3.3 volt circuit on the IMU. So I didn't have to create a second power rail, and then I can leave the 5 volts dedicated to the servo later on. The MPU650 works on 3.3 volts, but can also take 5 volts. All the functions seem to be working fine as is. I've got them all soldered in there, ready to go nicely. Connections are good. You can see the X runs straight along the board there, and then the Y is vertically up and down, making Z movement our rotational. I believe that's right. But anyway, so we've got our 0 sensor down the back there. So you can see we're on the 0, that's our start point there. I'm just going to come over here to our code, going to run our program. So we've got the MPU650 raw IMU test and successfully connected, and now we're reading live data. So we've got live data, going to get that scrolling there. Now I'm just going to move the board anti-clockwise, and you can see the data. Wait and stay scrolling for us. So then you can see the board's moving now. You can see all that data changing. Get some closer up. So I'm still doing the... that was a little backward swing there. So that's the clockwise movement there. And now I'm going to go... Alright, so we're going to go backwards, anti-clockwise, 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 and to the data. So I'm going to anti-clockwise there, going to clockwise there. We can see it's all reading. This is all the raw data, by the way. Got my code over here. Okay, so this is a review of the my test that I did. So the stationary, when it's stationary, I'll just set it stationary there on the 0 line. So you can see that that's stationary, so it's not really changing a great deal there. It's not perfectly held still, but you can see that Y movement, and so the Y thing there, all those data is pretty much holding pretty closely steady there. And then as I change it to the anti-clockwise, we start seeing some negative values there on the Y. And then if I move back to the 0 position again, we'll hold it there for a reset. Okay, now we move to clockwise, we'll get positive movements on the Y. So we're definitely seeing clear stabilization testing. So on the stabilization, this will be used later on. So on the stationary test, we had averages, raw values here. We'll do some calibrations in the next video. Overall, we've seen smaller X and Z accelerometer values there. So it has we definitely got some calibration to do there. That's my testing data, but I'll come down to the conclusions. So in conclusion, the MPU650 successfully is capturing uncalibrated raw accelerometer and gyroscope data. During the stationary test, the accelerometer showed that the y-axis was aligned closely with gravity. The gyroscope readings did not remain exactly at 0. We know it's close to gravity because see this value over here, it's 16. That's forget the number exactly, but it's very close to 1G. I know that much. The gyroscope readings did not remain exactly at 0, confirming presence of sensor noise, 0 rate offsets. As mentioned before, gyroscope produced a large response mainly negative values in anti-clockwise, produced a large response mainly positive going clockwise. Overall, MPU is connected correctly and could detect stationary. And that's that. So thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.